Today I am going to take the class and this is lecture 2. The topic is that affirmative and negative sentence and interrogative sentences. Affirmative sentence. Affirmative to negative sentence. If the affirmative sentence contains or possesses to and to, then negative sentence will definitely or obviously possess or contains so that, and another extra word will be added, cannot or could not. Subject, verb, to, adjective, to, and main verb in the present form. Then the negative sentence will also be started by writing subjective case. Then in the second part, verb will be transferred. So in the spheres of to, you will have to write so. Then adjective. After that, you will have to write this part. And again, subject will be written, cannot or could not will have to be written as compulsory or obligatory. And at last, main verb in the present form. Present form. Now let me explain these two structures side by side, one by one and step by step for your good understanding. This is the structure of affirmative sentence. Look at this example. Look at this structure. In what way I have written this affirmative sentence. Now I have also transferred it into negative sentence. First of all, subjective case is written. Reza is too weak to work. Such kind of affirmative sentence can easily be transferred into negative sentence if you follow this example. Dear students, always try to memorize all these structures from my online classes. Reza, subjective case, then verb. Here I have used is as auxiliary verb. Is. To will be changed into so. Then adjective will have to be written. That is written to change to. After that you will have to write the subjective case transferring it into pronoun. Here Reza is transferred into he. Then according to the structure I have written cannot. And at last main verb is written in the present form. Here the remarkable point is that note. The remarkable point for you is that the remarkable point for you that this can also be used as the structure and example of simple and complex sentence. Simple and complex sentence. Complex sentence. Subject, verb used as principal verb. During the absence of principal verb, auxiliary verb is used here. To. Then adjective case, here I have written weak. Then to and at last verb in the present form work. I have transferred this affirmative sentence into negative sentence by following this structure. Look at the structure. Subject. Here Reza is subject used in the negative sentence also. After that auxiliary verb is used. Then to is effaced from this sentence and so is written. Then in the fourth part weak is written, and after that in the fifth part to is transferred into that. Reza is changed into he, and then cannot is written as the part of negative sentence. Now you may think in what way you will be able to understand in which cases cannot is written and in which part of the sentences could not can be written. Then you will have to remember that you will follow the first auxiliary verb. If the first auxiliary verb is written in the present form, as for example am, is, are, have, has, then you will have to write cannot. But if the first auxiliary verb is written in the past form, was, were, or had, then you will have to write could not. Now I will efface this example and structure from this whiteboard, and I will discuss another structure and example from the discussion. Rule 2. As soon as can also be transferred into no sooner had. No sooner had. Here the remarkable or mentionable point is that the parts of English grammar are interconnected with each other very deeply. As soon as and the using of no sooner had can also be used in cases of right form of verbs. This is also an important part of the discussion of right form of verbs. But when I will discuss this part, right form of verbs, you will come to know in what way these two parts are interrelated with each other. But today I am only discussing about affirmative and negative sentences. Now look at the example. As soon as we reached the station, the train left. Such kind of affirmative sentence can be transferred into negative sentence by writing no sooner had. No sooner had we reached the station. Then the train left. Definitely or obviously you will have to remark, you will have to remember, you will have to contain or possess its mind that as soon as is the implication to the no sooner had. If the affirmative sentence is begun or started with possessing as soon as, then the negative sentence will also be started by writing no sooner had. In the next example, you will come to know about the using of by and present participle. By main verb adding ing, then object, a complete sentence. Then you will have to write in the cases of negative sentences without main verb, thus adding ing, then subject, cannot or could not, and at last verb in the present form. Now I am going to write down the example from this structure. By working hard, they can earn money, earn money. Now compare this example with the structure. I have already mentioned few moments ago that such kind of affirmative sentence will have to be started by writing by as preposition, then main verb adding ing. That can be also called as present participle, then objective case, and after that a complete sentence will have to be mentioned here. Then you will write the negative sentence by adding without, main verb adding ing. After that you will have to write subjective case, then cannot or could not will have to be chosen by you from these two alternatives according to the rule that I have already mentioned in the previous rule, and at last verb in the present form. By working hard they can earn money. This kind of affirmative sentence can be transferred into negative sentence by writing without, working hard they cannot earn money. This is the example from this group, and after that I will discuss another example and another structure from this discussion. Very and not a little, not a little. Dear students, you will have to remember that we are going to transfer all these sentences from one form to another form, but our change of meaning will not be allowed by the examiner. For this reason, the sentences will have to be changed, but the meaning will have to be remain unchanged. Rana is very ill. Rana is not a little ill. So, very has been written here for the implication to the affirmative sentence, and this kind of very is easily transferred into not a little. So the sentence is Rana is very little. This is the example from affirmative sentence, and the example from negative sentence is Rana is not a little. Affirmative type of sentences are consisted of many ways. As for example, Rana is the best student. Now, remarkable note or remarkable point is that this discussion is also a part of degree. This discussion is also an important or essential part of three types of degree. Part of three kinds of degree. That means positive, comparative, and at last superlative degree. Superlative degree. In this way, by using the examples, by using the structures from degree, we can also be able to transfer the affirmative sentence into negative sentence. No other student is as good as Ram. Now look at this example. Rana is the best student. In what way this sentence is consisted of? First of all, subjective case, then verb. In the third part, article. Here I want to mention that article D is, that means definite article is always used before the superlative degree. This is the example of superlative degree. This is adjective, this is noun. And in other words, it can also be called as superlative degree. Now look at the example from negative sentence. This sentence is started in the rudiment or starting of the sentence. You will have to write no other. After that, you will have to transfer the objective case, then auxiliary verb as or so can be written here. As and so are alternative to each other. As or so. These two types of words are always correct for your using. Then superlative degree has been transferred into positive degree. Then as always part of negative sentence or comparative degree, and at last subjective case has been transferred. In this way you will be able to write down all these examples of these structures from affirmative to negative sentences. Now make a revision from the lecture 1 to lecture 2. Lecture 1 to lecture 2. In my previous class, I have already mentioned these three types of sentences: affirmative, negative and interrogative sentences. Those kind of sentences were written in the other parts, in the other form, that are dissimilar to the sentences that I have discussed today. I think this discussion is always sufficient for you, this discussion is always enough for you, so that you can transfer the affirmative, negative sentences and interrogative sentences from one shape to other, from one structure to other. And I hope that you have already understood all these parts very efficiently and very attentively. So no more today. Goodbye.